You're now living in a world where information can be easily acquired and shared. How did it start? How did it develop so fast? Stick with us as we trace back the genesis of information age. Information age is the birth and growth of information chronicled by people, information, and societies from ancient times up to our present time today with the use of different means. Information age has four periods, and what are those? Here is the first one, the pre-mechanical period. During this time, humans started communicating with one another using words and pictograms carved in rocks. The Sumerian pictogram, dating back 3000 BC, shows the earliest form of communication among humans, followed by the Egyptian hieroglyphic writings in 2900 BC. This time, characters are more detailed. Then tortoise shell and oracle bone writings were developed in 1300 BC. Paper from papyrus plant was invented to store information in the year 500 BC. People started to develop further their writing skills, and in 220 BC, Chinese small sealed writing was developed.
For continuation, paper was compiled and bound together, eventually giving birth to books that they needed to be compiled and stored in areas. Parchment codex is replacement to papyrus. It was made by the skin of an animal, woodblock. Around 650 AD, they began printing on paper using wooden. Around 1450s, Johann Gutenberg introduced the metal movable type printing press in Europe. This dictionary is one of the famous dictionaries in history and first published in 1755. The Library of Congress was established in US and the largest library in the world. In 1802, Humphrey Davy invented the first electric light. In 1824, Peter Rogers introduced the concept of how brain sees individual images as a sequence of motion. First valuable design for a digital computer. It was called computer because it is mainly for computing basic arithmetic operation. Ada Byron has been called the first computer programmer.
The second period of information age is the mechanical period. It served as the bridge between our current period and the pre-mechanical period. In 1873, telegraph was invented by Samuel Morse. Next period is the electromechanical period, around 1840 to 1940. The use of electricity for information, handling, and transfer had bloomed. In 1861, first motion pictures were projected into the screen, which picture projected by means of light. In 1876, Melvin Dewey introduced the Dewey Decimal System, used for locating books and to organize books. In 1877, high-speed photography was performed by Edward Muybridge. In 1899, first magnetic were released, which is the telegraphone by Valdemar Poulsen. In 1902, George Miller introduced the filmmaker as an innovative effects on motion pictures. In 1906, electronic amplifying tube invented by Lee De Forest.
We are now on the fourth one, the electronic period. It started in 1940s up to present. The highlight of this period is focused on the advent of solid-state devices or the electronic devices. In 1923, television camera tools was invented by Vladimir Zurkin, who is known as the father of television, which he makes an iconoscope and kinescope. In 1926, Don Juan made the first practical sound movie. It is the first Vitaphone sound film. In 1939, U.S. television broadcasting had begun. Programs were transmitted from the NBC mobile camera trucks. The beginning of information science as discipline began in 1940. In 1946, ENIAC computer was developed, or it is called Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. In 1948, field of information theory born out of Claudius Shannon S., a mathematical theory of communication.
As part of the electronic period, we have the first integrated circuit in 1958. This was the first time electronic components were integrated into a single substrate by Jack S. Kilby. In 1960, Library of Congress developed machine-readable code to create a computer-readable format that could be very useful. In 1971, Intel introduced the first microprocessor chip. This Intel 4004 was a complete general-purpose CPU on a single chip. In 1972, optical laser disc was developed by Philips and MCA for distributing consumer movies. But in 1974, they agreed on a standard video disc encoding format to develop a compatible video disc system.
As part of the electronic period, in 1975, Altair Computer Kit was released first personal computer for the public. 1977, Radio Shack introduced the first complete personal computer. In 1984, Apple Macintosh computer was introduced. The Macintosh was the first to come with a graphical user interface and a mouse pointing device as standard equipment. Mid-1980s, artificial intelligence developed as a separate discipline from information science. 1987, HyperCard was developed by Bill Atkinson's Recipe Box Metaphor. 1991, 450 complete works of literature and 1 CD-ROM was released. And January 1997, RSA revealed Shamir Adlim, encryption and network security software, Internet Security Code Crack for a 48-bit number.